Hey guys, Kid here of Burn One. I'm joined here with Nico and I almost said Oliver. I mean, because he was in the last couple of videos. Joined with Carmen from PGH
What's
Weiss
up?
Schwarz. We're doing kind of a. It's not really a set review, but it's kind of going over. I think we're going to be doing this for every series in the 20th key anniversary set, right?
I don't know about every series.
Well, all four
I don't
series.
have
series
I don't have
somehow.
like Clannad and Little Busters available to me, and I'm not really like interested in those decks. But like I definitely don't mind doing like an overview of maybe Key 20th as a set, and then Charlotte and Rewrite like by themselves.
Yeah, we can probably do those. I mean, I can probably. Was that? Doesn't Oliver play?
Oliver does play Angel Beats. We could
And stuff.
definitely.
Yeah.
Oliver
I
has all the decks.
yeah. I mean, maybe we'll talk to Oliver for the other ones. We'll see what happens here. But yeah, so we're just gonna go over each series. The first one we're starting with is Charlotte, and Nico here is our resident Charlotte expert because he made a mistake. Was it 3, 4 years ago? And now that mistake is paid off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I saw Ricky was 5,000 yen today on Yute. That's actually pretty great.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, the price on some of these cards are ridiculous now. Anyway, not to not make this too long. We'll just kind of jump right into this here. So overall, we're kind of in agreement. I think we talked a little bit this before, at least in the Burn One group and stuff. We kind of see Charlotte as a stall deck, right?
Definitely more of a stall deck. Mainly just because you don't have a lot of like good options to close out the game. So your whole game plan mainly revolves around maintaining board with level 3 now from the first set, and constantly denying your opponent the ability to front attack, and then turning off their burn abilities and the like, with the U anti-burn also from the first set.
Yeah.
So then it just turns into this kind of like, hitting each other with like, just front attacks and stuff. But the level 3 nows also turn that off. So you're kind of more put at an advantage there.
It's like a different type of quote-unquote neg soul wall because you're forcing your opponent to side, and then they can't burn you either.
Yeah, you're really. I don't know if we want to call this like an anti-meta deck, but it's like the original color blue from Magic, right? Where you're just telling your opponent no, they can't have fun.
Yeah, almost like a control deck. Like how I see it is like this deck basically forces you and your opponent to play the most fair game of I turn my car sideways and we see who dies first. Pretty much.
I would say that's the case, with the exception that like you have a very big advantage of how that goes with the level 3 now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because your opponent can't front attack you a lot of the time.
Yeah. It's kind of, maybe it's more akin to like Death and Taxes in MTG, where like you have this game plan that screws over other people's game plan, but your game plan is built around that game plan, so you don't have any issues around. Well, whatever, I guess.
Yeah.
But I guess we can just hop into the first card then. How do you want to do this? You want to go over it, Nico? I guess.
Yeah, I can go first over this. So this is a Yusa Nishimori. It's a better brainstorm. Pay 1, rest itself. For every climax you hit, you get to search your deck for a. The only other brainstorm that was quote unquote plussing that Charlotte had prior to this was you give your opponent, or you give one of your cards on reverse. You can search 2, and then you can drop 1, which was for a deck that didn't hit very high power levels at level 1, or almost at any point in the game. It wasn't very good, considering it's not a guaranteed plus. Its other effect is also fairly alright. Anytime you kill something, you can pump something up by 500 power, which can come into play on both your and your opponent's turn. If I had to actually list a like a problem, although it's not really a problem, was I wish this was a salvage brainstorm, because you already have a lot of ways to kind of like go into your deck and find what you need. But salvage brainstorm would probably make this a little too overpowered.
Yeah, you can't really complain too comparing the last brainstorm to this, right? This is just
The
like
last brainstorm was such struggle bus. Even with when I was testing with the some of the new cards on reveal, I hate that brainstormer.
Yeah. So this is just a straight plus for the set and the deck overall. Guess we'll just jump into the next card then. what is this? So we have the Yusa and Misa Nishimori sisters on the beach. So this is when this is placed from hand to stage. Look at the top two cards from the top of your library. Put them on top of your library in any order. And then this is a discard, pay one discard search.
Yeah, so it's a drop search.
Yep.
So it's those promo drop searches they've been printing in, I think, what is it, Review and Bang Dream?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a really
Card is
good
fine.
profile. In a vacuum, I guess.
It's fine. I know a lot of people run this card. I'm not super sold on it just because, like, you already have the U to kind of, like, quote-unquote drop search for what you need.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're choosing to play the kind of like the Sisters shift package at level 3, you probably have 2 or 3 of this in your deck just because for color fix. And at the end of the day, it's not an awful profile.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a drop search, which is good, and with another ability tacked onto it, that's good. I think one thing you can consider, too, when looking at this profile is that if you play the 8 Pants deck, basically, the 8 Blue Gate, you can top check, too, and if you see the Pants and a card you want to draw, you can swap them around to get the draw, right?
Yeah.
That'd be like an interesting play, and I think kind of that's about it.
It's also a ditch out, which is actually pretty relevant considering Set 1 Charlotte did not have a lot of good ditch outs.
Oh, that is true. And now that you're playing 8 Pants, like 8 plussing triggers, and unfortunately it only pluses climaxes, which is, like, you would think is a really good thing for your level 3 game plan, but in the end it can be really annoying, right?
Yeah, but other cards we have, like, kind of like down the line kind of help mitigate that. So
Right.
I think it's still fine.
Alright, I guess we'll go to the next card here.
All right, now Tomori, Mysterious Student Council President. Hexproof. You can pay 1 on play to salvage a climax. And then also has startup, ditch a character, give a character 3k.
So I don't know what your guys' opinion is on this card, but as you can see in like the notes I wrote down, I think this is more of kind of like a card you would see and be like, damn, this is really good. I need to run this. But then, like, you never feel like you're really playing it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe it just doesn't fit
Yeah.
so much.
It's mainly due to your trigger spread. So because you run 8 Pants, you have a lot of kind of like... You have a lot of opportunities to hoard the Pants trigger in your hand. That in combination with a level 3 now that also digs an extra card on attack. There's not too many like situations or scenarios you would run into where you kind of need this.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I know we talked about this before, but like I kind of agree that this is almost like a trappish type of card. Like the card effect itself is not bad, but once you kind of get into like how the deck functions and stuff, there's at least at level 3, there's no reason for you to really slam a 2-soul beater down that you have to also pay 1 extra to get the card. Because a lot of people might think like, hey, if I pay, this is like basically a pay 1 like anti-damage counter, like after you play it, right? Is I assume what most people think about this, but like after you play the deck very often and stuff, it's usually never an issue. And like you said, what is it? The level 3 now digs extra cards. So like worst case scenario, if you whiff on not hitting like a trigger to get the climax to hand, if you don't have it already, you've thinned your deck out a bunch anyway. So like you should like theoretically cancel more often anyway. But yeah.
The only other thing is hexproof may become more relevant as kind of we progress. Just so you don't always have to field 3 of the other level 3 now if you're ever in the mirror match. But like I said, that's a really meta-dependent thing, and we'd see how it goes. On the plus side, if you run this along with like the other now, so if your field is like 1 of this card and then 2 of the other cards, you're immune to money counters, tap counters, and all that. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. All right, we'll hop into the next card here.
All right, so we're already switching over to green. So this is Yu Otosaka and now Tomori. Promise. It gets 500 for all your other characters. When this is placed from hand to the stage, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a character with trait, which you're going to have, this gets on reverse clock kick. And then it has a climax combo of when this attacks and the gold bar is in the climax zone, you can heal 1.
All right. So, yeah, go ahead.
This card a lot. maybe not a lot, but I like this as a kind of like a good way to close out your stall game, if that makes sense. So you just spent a turn denying your opponent front attacks. They've left characters on the board. Sometimes those characters are shitters. You drop this and you clock kick those characters.
Yeah, it seems to have really good synergy with the fact that you're forcing your opponent to side.
Yeah.
I've seen some lists, notably from Japan, splash like one of the climax combo. I don't really understand the point of that, even with all the climax swap, like the good climax swapper that you have. Seems
that's trying to be a little too spicy.
Yeah, but still, like just an 11-5 clock kick, it's fine, free.
It's not even going to be 11-5. It's going to be 13-5 because you're going to have 2-1 back row.
Oh yeah, that's right. You do have the 2-1 back row. Yep.
Yeah, this is definitely a card like when you first started playing the set, like I undervalued this card and I was even like, I don't know if you should put this in your deck, Nico, but then we talked about it more. It definitely synergizes with the whole like deck's game plan overall. And it's like one of the only ways to, like you said, add extra damage to push for the game. So this helps set up like, this is definitely like a follow-up turn to your like 2 lanes of like anti or forcing sides and then dropping 2 clock kicks down to like close games out. So it sets up really good 2-turn kill game plans, I guess is what I'm trying to say, right?
So I don't think this card makes it into like the sisters build lists, just because the slots in those lists are like really, really tight. Mm-hmm. But if you're choosing to like not run the sister swap package at level 3, you should probably run 1 or 2 of this to help kind of close the game out.
Yeah. All right, we'll jump into the next card here. Oh, whoops. There we go. Ayumi, Otosaka, and Yu Otosaka family bonds. This is the climax swapper. It's pay 1, ditch a climax, salvage a climax. And then it has another good effect on it. It's whenever damage from this card is canceled, you can put this guy into stock.
Yep. So you have a really good first climax swap, which, in some sets, you just literally run it for the first effect alone. And then you have a really decent bonus effect on top of that. So I think this is just overall really good.
Yeah. Like really solid. You run like 2 or whatever of this in pretty much every list now, right?
Yeah.
This just adds towards more of your green fix as well, right? Especially if you're playing into the green level 3 like we just saw, as well as the the stock swap event. Yeah. Does Charlotte ever have issues with like generating stock? Does this extra ability add a lot to, like, if your opponent cancels, you want that stock, or it's just like
about adding a lot? It does add a decent amount, mainly just because Charlotte's top end is fairly I would say inexpensive, mainly because your top end doesn't really burn resources per se. So like I think I've mentioned this before in one of the discords, your main top end should typically be like 3 level 3s in the front row and then 1 2-1 support in the back row, helping out your nows. So all in all, that should be 7 stock. And one of those level 3s could be your early play. So ideally, if you go into like your level 3 turn with one of your early plays surviving and then 5 extra stock, you're good to go.
Yeah.
But this gives you like that extra malleability. Maybe you can like squeeze in an extra brainstorm or something.
Yeah, and I guess on the bright side too, if you have to use this effect early and they randomly cancel and you swing with this card, you've basically got the stock swap for free, right? All right, we'll go on the next card here.
Sorry, Carmen.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say. Yu Otosaka, outstretched hand. It gains up to 2k on play. This is garbage.
It's 2-5.
2-5, yeah. It can become 7-5.
Oh, 2-5. It counts itself. Sorry.
I like this note. This note is good. Why does this come in foil? Oh, man.
So I know before we had, like, this was way back in the day, but we had metas where, like, level 1, nobody really cared about trying to protect their level 1 game. So unless there's a meta shift back to that, you're never playing this card. It's pretty shitty.
Yeah, and your level 1 combo anyway gets just as big as this, right, basically, or even bigger?
7-5 on attack.
Yeah.
Any support goes through.
Yeah. Yep. This seems like a pretty shitter card. Next card here.
This is another shitter card. This is Kumagami and Shunsuke, close friends. This ability activates up to once per turn. Whenever you start up, you can choose a character. It gets 500 power. Pretty weak. And then at the start of your opponent's attack phase, you can pay 1 and run this to the back row. This is like another pack filler card.
Yeah, like these two effects
500
don't.
is super negligible.
Yeah, these two effects don't even seem to like very synergize very well together, right?
Don't.
Yeah.
No.
All right, next card. We got Ayumi Otosaka, Sweet Home Cooking. Oh, this is the 2/1 anti-level 3. So on play, you can pick one of your opponent's. Is it any character or front row character?
Any character.
Any character,
it
yeah.
is a back row that has markers, so you can disrupt. Like I think I've disrupted, for example, Wibbs' slime play. I denied him an extra stock because he tapped his back row, and then I just blinked it.
That's pretty good. And it kind of screws over Hina Look and Logic if you ever run into that in other like marker compression decks like that, right? And I guess Nixel Walls, but I'm not sure how important that is. And then it has the other effect when it attacks a level 3, or the card across from this is level 3 or higher, it gains 6k power, so it's 12/5 base. So, it beats out most early plays, because most early plays are chill around 9k, because lately they've been losing their power on defense, right? Yeah, so this can at least put a damper into your opponent's like early plays and stuff, and as well as more green fix, right?
Yep. So you have another kind of like card in Charlotte that we'll get to further down the line. That's just a suicide early plays. But even 12/5, a lot of the times you're going to be running the Pantasis back row, which we'll get to later, which you have to give this 14,000 power, or to get it to 14,000 power. So even then, this card's fine.
Yeah.
Charlotte doesn't have a lot of good like options when it comes to on attack hate on level 3s, and I think this is probably its best option personally.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm sure this is a discussion for some other time, but I've been preferring more often now, like the power pumps over the just guaranteed reverses.
Yeah.
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 Bored a lot of the time.
Yeah, and a lot.
I feel
lately,
like the bomb is more of an English thing, right?
yeah, sort of, because I think there's not a lot of options in English going on, and I think kind of things shifted a bit now, where I think having the character on board is like a little bit more important. And usually these have an extra effect attached to them that make them even like more beneficial than the other ones. But yeah, all right.
More likely for it to have a good bonus effect.
Yeah. Next card here.
All right, Misa, the other girl. When this is placed from hand to stage, mill top 2. If there's a climax, you can put the top card of your opponent's deck in the waiting room, and then put a card from their waiting room on top of their deck. That's silly. And then you can on play ditch a climax, salvage a character. It's like your only way to salvage, right?
Yeah, this is your only real way to salvage.
Yeah, the first effect.
Climax out. I think that only targets characters with change, so that's super limited.
Yeah, I think the card's solid overall. I mean, the first effect seems like pretty whatever, but like you randomly get pluses off of it, right? Which is kind of good.
Pluses. Just, you can occasionally.
No, yeah, I mean, like you mill your opponent's climax, and you're like, get memed on, son.
The first effect can vary wildly, because sometimes you really don't want that mill. Like for yourself, you still have to mill. But at the end of the day, I think this still probably finds like 2, maybe even 3 copies in most lists.
Just because it's your only way to interact with Grave.
Yeah,
it's
and your climax spread is can be rough sometimes.
8 pants. Kind of rough.
Climaxes, so that's good.
All right. Next card here.
Right, so we have the gang watching over. When this is placed on hand to stage, you can pay 2 stocks. If you do choose 2 of your opponent's characters, you can stand them and swap them. While I would typically classify this as pack filler, you can still probably run 1 or probably just 1 in some lists, depending on your metagame.
Yeah, since this hits back row, you can pull things up from the back row that you want to remove, or make it hard on your opponent.
Yeah.
Like if they stand by out a 3/2 support and you can easily kill that, it just seems like a good way to punish them for it. But the effect is very costly, and taking up that slot in the deck feels bad, right?
Yeah, it just doesn't do anything else. That's the thing.
I feel like this was printed in response to like the old Albuta deck, which isn't super relevant anymore.
Yeah.
to try to snipe their like 3-2 back row. So
Yeah, or even move bodyguards out of the way, right? Because if they're not in the center, then Reno. Yeah, pretty
it's
super niche tech card. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'd be
not
pretty.
upset if somebody plays this, you know.
Yeah, wouldn't be upset, but it'd be very surprised to see if someone's actually like playing this more than one of two even. But yeah, next card here we have the 1/0 1K counter, and it's also an anti-early play backup. So you pay 2 to remove their higher level character, but then it lets your opponent summon a level. Is it level 0? Yeah, level 0
Yeah.
or lower character from their waiting room to the board, and it comes in standing. So you end up not actually denying them an attack. And so in some cases, if your opponent plays correctly, they get 4 stock off of you using this 2-cost stock thing.
Yeah, this is too heavy of a cost, and doesn't have, it's like not sack a character. It doesn't have other uses.
I'd like this more if this was the straight up Yusa profile, which is I think is like one of the last times we've seen this, where it was pay 1 sack a character. So if it was pay 1 sack a character, I'd probably be down for this card. But since it's pay 2, you're expanding a lot of stock to do it, and then your opponent can just also pay 3 encore. It's I think we talked about this kit. This is like another one of those trap cards where it kind of looks good, but then you actually play it and you're just like, damn, I don't ever want to play this card.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not great.
It's not even like 1500 backup, because nowadays almost 2K backups are like considered vanilla, because 1/1 counters are now 2/5 are considered like the vanilla level. So yeah, it just feels kind of bad. This was like really good in a long time ago, this type of effect, but nowadays like unless like the meta shifts into a way that like using this effect at level 1 would like make your opponent lose the game. I don't think. Yeah, I think you said, like we talked about it. I feel like this is a very trap type of card. You get tricked into playing this into your deck just because you think it will do something, but it never does anything.
Yeah.
All right. Next card here we have Joujirou Takajou, type to wear slimming clothes. Oh yeah, I saw this earlier. I was like, this is pretty funny. So if you have 4 more other characters with anniversary gifted trait, you can choose one of your other characters and give it 2 soul when this card attacks. And then this is another higher level than your opponent reverser, right? So early level 3 killer.
Yep.
So the first effect seems pretty meme. I mean, what do you guys think about this?
Dank meme out of 10.
Yeah, this is super meme.
Oh man, would you ever consider running this over the green reverser?
I think the blink on the green reverser is too good.
I think the blink has more value in today's meta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think there's ever a point of getting 2 soul? Is this going to be super worth? Because technically this is a pay 1, gain 3 soul, right? Or have a 3 soul beater, basically.
So you need a full board, which can be prohibitive sometimes. Not all the time. Not with this kind of like new deck, but sometimes it can be prohibitive. And the other time, like, most of the time, if you're playing this down, like both you and your opponent have like refreshed, so you're not going to be wanting to be swinging for like, you know, those big dick numbers of like 4 and 5, mainly just because they're pressed. So I feel like the first effect, while kind of funny and in certain situations can be, you know, pretty good, overall it's just kind of like in the current metagame, this I would just prefer to run the Blink Ayumi over this.
Yep, sounds reasonable. All right, next card.
Read this one.
Oh, here we go. The good one. Now Tomori, scene she wanted to shoot. On attack, if you have the pants in your climax zone, you have 2 or more other anniversary gifted. Look at up to the top 3 cards of your library. Choose 1 character with anniversary gifted from among those cards. Show it to your opponent. Put it in your hand. Ditch the rest. And this gains 1500 power for the turn. So it swings in at 7/5 for no reason. As an on attack Magro for 3.
The condition to actually do it is pretty fake because 2
Yeah.
or more characters at level 1, unless you're literally not playing the game, you're always going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like this card is just really good. It's like it has a crazy price tag too, because like I think in the 20th anniversary deck you most likely play this as well, right?
Yeah, and it's on pants. It's not on draw, which is like what these are usually on.
Yeah, and the climax just synergizes so well with your deck's game plan. Like, there's no reason not to run this. Like, yeah. I mean, what else is to say?
This card fixed so many issues that like old Charlotte had by itself. That like I think I was talking about this with Carmen actually. When this card was revealed, along with like one or two other cards, we literally made the deck on Tabletop Simulator with like the 2 or 3 extra cards, and it actually fixed a lot of the old issues.
Yeah, it was like the deck started to function like with just this and like one other card.
2/1 support, right? I think it was.
Yeah, the 2/1 support. It was that.
Yeah, I remember when we were playing and you guys were testing it, and Dean and I were like, I do not want to see Charlotte become like a real deck. And now here we are, we're like, Charlotte's a real deck. Like, probably contends with the top 5 deck in the meta right now for JP. Not 100% sure, but I feel that way at least just by like playing against
Knee jerk. It's really hard to not say.
Yeah,
that it's that.
It
was always like that.
Yeah, it was one of those sets where it's like these effects here seem really good, but the deck itself was just so like a mess that you never had to worry about it. But if any of this stuff becomes super viable, it's definitely gonna look really strong and probably screw up with the meta a lot. So I'm interested to see how like people will adjust to this being like a very like top contender deck. I think.
One of the good memes on Discord. I don't even know if it is a meme. One of our residents, kind of like big Konosuba players, I think his name is Cole.
Mm-hmm.
He would just run the 107k Aqua that sends everything to memory to get rid of this card. And once we had 5 memory, they Konami controller you, so then you can't even do the burn, or you don't even have anti-burn up. But that's only a tech Konosuba has available. So
yeah, Konosuba with the secret tech. I remember us talking about this as well. Oh man,
it's alright, guys. Konosuba comes up in every video. It's fine.
God damn. I need a ban Konosuba talk. All right, screw this. Next card.
I didn't even say it this time.
Whose turn is it? Is it mine?
Yeah, I think so. Oh wait, no, it's back around. Yeah, Nika.
If I can preach the previous card a little bit, that card actually just straight up almost fixed the entire level 1 game for Charlotte single-handedly.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so we have this one. It's now Tomori, happy every day. Whenever your character's trigger check reveals a climax, if it's a pants trigger, you can draw a card. If you do, ditch a card, and then tap this, choose one of your characters, give it 1,500 power. I actually really like this card a lot. I don't know why, but every single time I can field this card in a game on like turn 1 or 2, I feel like I'm always in a super good spot.
1,500 is a lot of power.
100 is super good. Draw ditch, so if you don't need a climax or whatever, the fact that you can just discard that climax to draw another card is also really good. Like, yeah, I like this support a lot. That, and you don't have any other really like great supports fighting for your back row slots, so this is a good back row to have until like level 2 or so. Would be like this in the brainstorm.
Yeah. Nothing to add on to that is that if you do decide to play any events like the stock swap event, this just makes it so whenever you trigger climax, you have more draws, and more draws makes it higher chance to draw into the event you need for whatever matchup, since the only way to get the event is literally draw the event, right? So
yeah.
Yep, solid card all around. Next card here is Ayumi Otosaka, happy every day. So this is a 1035, and on attack you reveal the top card of your deck if it's anniversary or gifted or an event. You can choose a character and give it 3k power for the turn. So this is an incredibly huge power pump. This card like it makes it so that you standby matchups don't feel bad, right?
So like if you slam a climax down, you have like 2 or 1 of this and then 2 of the nows on the board. One of the nows has been power pumped by the back. You give that now 12k, you're threatening to win board against standby, which is really, really good.
Yeah, this is like I don't know, it's kind of like the Cosme bomb from Bang Dream, except this is on attack for a lot more buff, but it's not a bomb. But I just like the extra power a lot more.
Yeah.
Because of standby, like you said.
Solid card all around. And the fact that it's in blue too makes it very easy for your level 1 game. You don't have to worry about multiple colors.
Yeah, you're not double color.
Yep. All right.
All right. Joujirou Takajou. Is that how you say it?
Yeah,
Takajou. Okay. Happy every day. So this is a mill runner, and then it also has accelerate. At the beginning of your climax phase, it gains 1 soul and 2,000 power. So it's a 3/5 2 soul beater that's also a mill runner.
I don't really like this card. The couple games I've played with this card, like 4 or 5 games, I've never felt happy fielding this. And the one time I think I actually accelerated was at level 3 to have a 2 soul beater.
Yeah.
So it's like, the card profile kind of looks like it could be good, but I just don't think it is.
I think it reads well, but in practice, it's bad.
Zeros a lot. This is actually like the only way. This is actually like you're only plussing level 0.
Yeah. The thing about the accelerate too is like if your game plan is to get to 1 first, I mean the set already has Ricky, right? And then
does, yes.
The timing for this accelerate accelerate in general, the timing kind of sucks usually if the effect's not very powerful. And like 3/5 just feels like not super great.
Yeah. I think maybe we could. This card might be stronger if this had the Reza Sulin accelerate effect from Bang Dream Volume 2, where you accelerate from the waiting room. So I think that a little more value, but since it's still top card of library, it's kind of eh.
Yeah,
it is cool though. It's a shame. It does read well, but in practice,
and I really don't practice.
Yeah, I think one thing too that at least for me is like I feel like Charlotte is another one of those decks where it's like if you can make the game go long, you win every game every time, right? And so this like in a way accelerates the game a little bit too much for me, at least my taste anyway. Yeah. So I mean that's something to think about too.
Well, it's kind of why I don't like running the 2/1 Suicider over the 2/1 Blinker, because you're trying to mitigate the damage you take.
Yeah, this isn't like Fate where like if you took a random 5, you have a 3/3 event that can just heal. Well, I guess they don't anymore, but like you don't have a 3/3 event or something crazy that will just heal you down for very efficiently. Mm-hmm. So definitely building up to that end game, you just want to avoid as much damage as possible.
Yep.
All right, next card here.
Otosaka, happy every day. I think this was the other initial card that was revealed along with the 1/0 and now climax combo, which was we were like, wow, what the hell is this? So the first is all of your something precious now Tomori get 1500 and hexproof. I linked the card below. That's the now from set 1. And it also has assist all level 3 or higher characters in front of this gain 2k power. So if you put this in front of 2 nows, they get 3/5 power and hexproof, which is pretty bonkers, to be quite honest.
Yeah, the fact that if you want to remove now, you can't blink her because you wouldn't be able to target her. Blinking her doesn't even do anything to begin with. So those kind of effects don't work. If you want to get rid of her, you have to bounce her. So you have to bounce not only now, but you have to bounce this thing in the back row first just to be able to get rid of now in the front row.
The fact that
crazy.
All nows on board hexproof. So if you still only this and then tri-field the level 3 now below, you're still immune to money counter and you're still immune to rest counter and all that other stuff.
Yeah, you just can't get punished.
Yeah, this is just a really powerful support overall. Like, this was one of the reasons, like, it was so annoying to play when you guys were testing in the beginning, because this was definitely one of the first, like, 3 cards they revealed or something.
Yeah.
And we were like, this is so stupid. Like, I hate this game. But now Charlotte gets to be a little meta bully, I guess. Or make people sad, even if it's not a meta bully.
Kind of like it helps out your early plays if you're running like the early play Ayumi. Mm-hmm. So if you just drop this behind the Ayumi, it becomes 12/5, which becomes a little more harder to answer unless you like field an actual bomb and stuff.
Yeah, and with a 2k counter, it becomes 14/5. It's really spook, right? So next card here, we have Naoi Tomori and Yusa Nishimori welcoming the new year. So what is this? This is when this is placed on hand and stage, draw up to 1 card, choose one of your opponent's characters, and that character gains a following ability until end of turn. Or for the turn, yeah. In the battle involving this, you may not play backups or events from hand. And then it has, when this card attacks, you can power pump like 2,500. So yeah,
Yep.
It seems very lackluster card. I don't know how often either of these effects are going to matter.
If there's some sort of very oppressive event, maybe. But
the thing is, though, like, I feel like this would be almost made for the Key 20th anniversary deck as opposed to Charlotte, mainly because what events and backups are you afraid of if you're fielding like level 3 now?
Yeah. That's true.
Or does have really good art, though.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Unfortunate. Yeah, this is pretty much definitely either key anniversary thing or filler level 3.
So these next cards I kind of translated because the Heart of the Cards, shoutouts to Heart of the Cards, they didn't have these up yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of had to go through and kind of like pseudo translate them, but they aren't like super relevant.
Okay,
We'll get there.
So yeah, the next card.
Yusa Nishimori, Sweet Home Cooking. It's a top check X, so possible top check up to 5. Add a card to your hand, including climaxes. Could add anything. And it also has act, pay 1, choose a character in your opponent's front row, give it minus 1,000. It's repeatable. Start up.
Yeah,
It's really eh.
I can't imagine
you don't
a game.
need to dig.
Yeah, I can't imagine a game where you absolutely need to dig. I guess like maybe if you want another way to find like your stock swap event or something, this would be an okay way. But it just seems like it's a wasted slot in a deck, especially with that. The second effect kind of sucks.
You can dig through a compressed deck, and this is like super like a little too meta and probably really bad, but you can like dig through your deck, load up your waiting room, hopefully with like the now pants trigger some pants off of your nows, and then grab them back to hand. So it does have uses. It's just they're not something you're looking for in a game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. More for key, right? Than I guess for Charlotte.
Yeah, it kind of seems
they
that
got
way.
the option.
All right. We have our last card here. Did you want to close this out, Nico?
Sure. So this is At the End, now Tomori. I didn't know how better translate it, and I didn't want to make a Linkin Park reference. When this card is put on the stage from your hand, you can mill 2, or you do mill 2. This gets X times 1,000. It's the number of characters you mill. And then whenever the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, you can draw Ditch. I've seen a lot of lists kind of like randomly add this card in there, but I think kind of like how I have it on the slide. The 105k ditch a climax to get 1k and on reverse draw 1 from I think it was a promo from the first set. I think that kind of like fits in the slot better than this card.
That card's actually good. I really like that card when we were playing testing, when we were using 8 pants. It's repeatable.
I can't how many times I had to actually say discard 3 climaxes or discard.
Yeah.
Hope you don't have a sack counter. Oh man, yeah. That's one thing about this card too. I think we talked about is like the mill doesn't feel that great with this 1/0, and then the only upside to this is that you're not allowed to ditch many cards for this, but if you whiff on the reverse because they have a counter or something, you don't get punished as hard. But even if your opponent has a counter with the other PR card, like that card can get super big, especially with the 1500 back row pump and like slamming a climax. So like outside of a sack counter, you're always gonna get the reverse.
Crash against a shitter or something just because you're looking to guarantee that reverse, and your other nows already kind of get big, and if they die, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. I think the other PR card's just better.
And that's just that's actually all the Charlotte cards from Q20th so far.
Oh man, we need more set reviews where it's only like 20 cards. Somehow this video is still like 40 minutes long. That's ridiculous. But
that's about what I expected it would be.
Why can't these be like 5 minutes long? But yeah, overall, I think we all kind of agree here. Like Charlotte got a huge bump up, right? in power level and like meta threat as far as like the game goes.
Yeah, it's like it was like the spookiest set going into Key 20th when they said this is gonna have Charlotte cards in it, and my immediate reaction is like, oh no, oh no.
Oh man, I didn't even think about Charlotte at all when that was there until you guys pointed out that like anti burn and all that stuff's in this set. I'm like, oh no, and then like started playing against it. I was like, oh no, please. I don't want to deal with this for an entire year or more. But yeah, overall, like with the way the cards they printed for this set, it definitely feels like they catered way more to the now level 3 and setting up that kind of game plan overall of like anti-fronting, anti-damage, or auto attacks and stuff like that, right?
Tell your opponent, no, you can't play the game. It is, I can only play the game once you hit 3.
Pretty much. I think, did you say, Nico, you're going to do a couple deck profiles or one huge deck profile on like the 2 builds you can kind of come from this?
So, I'm going to send Kit 2 kind of like sample deck lists. One kind of like that I like running, which is just going to be mainly focused solely on the level 3 now with some kind of like Clock Kick and other support. And then one for the Sisters deck I made, which if you do opt to run that package, that should also be pretty solid. He can link them down in the description. But I can also do a deck profile and kind of like explain how you want to pilot it and what you want to do if you guys want to do, or if you guys need that.
Yeah, I think at least do the one you like building. I think the one that you worked on in the beginning is just really powerful at this point now and everything.
It looks really clean compared to a lot of the other ones that I've seen pop up.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. I think it's really way more focused and very clean build, and like every card in there has a purpose. It kind of seems like everywhere else right now when we're looking at, people are kind of all over the place, not sure what they need to do. Maybe they remember old Charlotte a little bit too much. And they're going
I always see the twins come up, and like it's definitely a good package. It's just like I feel like they're too locked into this is what we did before, and we should try to keep doing it again. But I don't think it's as good as it with this package. I think with these new cards.
Yeah,
like I have even said earlier in the video, it's like you're giving up extra consistency like throughout all of your entire early game to just be slightly better in the late game, and I don't think that kind of like slightly better is worth it for me.
Yeah, I pretty much agree on that though. I think that is it though. Any last words, any of you?
Nope.
Can't believe it paid off.
Yeah, who would have thought the Charlotte investment would finally pay off, and here we are. Congratulations.
$50.
Yeah, congratulations to all the Charlotte players out there who knew this day would come. Welcome to being like
$30.
Yeah.
It's Charlotte now, dude. Sucks to be you. Enjoy dropping hundreds on this set. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I was so tempted to like buy Ayumi Rickies and stuff. When they got announced.
Rare. That's like $15.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then also shout out to all the new Charlotte players who spent like $500 to build this deck. I salute you. Other than that, though, we'll see you guys in the next video. Later. Before you go, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel if you do enjoy our content, as it does help us grow, and check out some of these social media links below.